The 90-degree Citizen exhibition is a wonderful opportunity, particularly for myself as the curator of living cultures here at the Manchester Museum. Now that basically means I'm responsible for the ethnographic collection, and the ethnographic objects, for those of you that may be unfamiliar with that term, ethnography is basically a branch of anthropology. Anthropology is the study of humankind, human cultures, and museum ethnography or ethnology is a branch of anthropology, and it seeks to study the material culture of various peoples around the world. So why they made different types of objects, how they were made, how they were used. And museum ethnography really came to the forefront in the 19th century as European empires expanded and as various parts of the world and people were colonized. European peoples would collect objects from the indigenous people that they came into contact with. Now, when those objects were brought back to the museum, they were obviously subject to a very imperial and colonial narrative. Now, today we recognize that that was quite a damaging narrative, and we're always looking for new opportunities to scrutinize that, but to reevaluate and reapply the collection in a very contemporary sense and deal with bigger issues, very important immediate issues like migration, multiculturalism, cultural pluralism, particularly in Britain and cities like Manchester, where these are extraordinarily important issues and vital issues to the people of the city. So we're using a collection which essentially, to all intents and purposes, is Victorian and was subject, as I said, to those narratives today which we recognise as being wrong and inappropriate, and looking for new contemporary ways, perhaps working with artists in this instance, or researchers or other members of the community, to come to a better and more diverse appreciation of these type of objects. So working on the exhibition has been wonderful for me, because again, having some of my preconceived curatorial notions questioned and challenged, specifically in relation to the notion of migration, because obviously in the 19th century, European powers, colonial powers, were quite concerned with permanence. They wanted borders to be established with their colonial rivals in different parts of the world like Africa and Asia, and the collection can sometimes reflect that sense of permanence, and as we know, that wasn't necessarily the reality. Very many different cultures around the world have migrated for centuries, if not thousands of years, and to use, but museum collections were often used to restate that permanence, to say that these people belong in this area and they're going to be part of this colonial jurisdiction, whereas as we know now, through better research and a lot more historic scrutiny, we know that people have consistently moved and migrated around the world. So this has been a fantastic opportunity to apply some of that thinking to what is a traditional Victorian ethnographic collection.